Similar figures. In our discussions about proportional and scale drawings, you'll find that similar figures goes right along with proportions. Similar figures, we've got some definitions to get out of the way. Corresponding sides. Corresponding sides means that if we've got two different figures, we got a smaller rectangle and a larger rectangle, corresponding sides means the same side, like this side right here goes with this side right here on a rectangle. They are corresponding, which means they're the same side on different similar figures. Corresponding angles, same thing. It means it's the same angle on the two different figures. Similar figures means that they have the same shape, but they are not the same size. And congruent means equal. We all know what the symbol for equal means. This is the symbol, for similar, the little squiggly line. Okay, so there is a phrase that you need to memorize, and here it is. Corresponding sides are proportional. There's that word we've been using, proportional. And corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, corresponding sides are proportional. Corresponding angles are congruent. And I've got some similar figures right here. I've got trapezoid A, B, C, D. Then I've got trapezoid J, F, G, H. Sometimes they give them to you looking like this, and what you should probably do, it's what I do, is I will redraw it looking the same. So I've drawn it over here, put this trapezoid down on its shorter base, and redraw your labels F, G, H, J. And it wants us to just label corresponding sides and angles. Side AB, that's this side right here, it's the long base, corresponds with, over here, FG. It's the long base. Corresponding GH, GH is over here, it's this slant side over here, it corresponds with BC. AD, AD is this slant side over here, and it corresponds with FJ. HJ, HJ is right here, it's the short base, and it corresponds with the short base over here of DC. That is those are corresponding sides. Now it's talking about corresponding angles. Corresponding angle A corresponds with angle F. Corresponding angle H corresponds with angle C. Okay, and we just learned about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent. So if I'm looking at angle B right here, and it's 40 degrees, then that means angle G right here is 40 degrees. Okay, angle D right here, it says it's 140 degrees, then that means angle J right here is also 140 degrees because corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about corresponding sides. Okay, we're solving for a missing side on similar figures. We use a proportion. So we've got this side is 4, and then the long side is 12. Short side, long side, short side, long side. So that's how I set it up. I put short side over long side, short side over long side. So 4 over 12 is equal to x over 3. Cross multiply, 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times x is 12x, and then 12 divided by 12, I don't even have to work it out, is just 1. So that means the length of this missing side right here is 1. Let's see if it makes sense. If I go from 12 to 3, it means I divided it by 4. Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay, it makes sense. Here we go. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. What is the measure of angle A, this right here, if the measure of angle X is 60 degrees? Well, because these figures are similar, we know that the angles are equal. So angle X is 60 degrees, that means angle A is 60 degrees. Okay, a certain tree cast a 40-foot shadow. At the same time, Roberto, who is 6 feet tall, cast a 5-foot shadow. So we're looking at shadows versus the height of objects. What is the height of the tree if they are similar? So draw the figures. I've got my figures drawn over here. I've got the height of a tree versus its 40-foot shadow. The height of a person, Roberto, versus his 5-foot shadow. So here I've got height over shadow, height over shadow. His height is 6 foot versus his shadow of 5 foot. The height of the tree is unknown. His shadow is 40 foot. So 6 times 40 is 240. 5x, divide by 5, and we get that the tree is 48 feet tall. Okay, and our Destiny wants to resize a photograph. The photograph for the school newspaper is 4 inches wide and 5 inches in length or long. That's what we're comparing. We're comparing width to length. It needs to fit a shape that is 2 inches wide. So we've got width and we've got length, which is 4 inches over 5 inches. And it needs to be 2 inches wide. So I've got width, width, and width. And I'm looking for the length. Cross multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. 4x divided by 4. And that means that the picture needs to be 2.5 inches long when we divide that out. Okay, which of the following statements is not true about similar figures? On the previous page, we talked about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent. Sides are proportional. They are the same shape, they're just different in size. So here it says corresponding sides are congruent. Corresponding sides are not congruent, they are proportional. Congruent means equal. Our sides are not equal, they are different sizes. So A is false. And then you need to give me 2 to 3 sentences on your summary.